What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I am Alex, and I'm joined by a very, very special guest, but one we've had on this channel before in Craven Something Scary. And we talk about him all the time. An amazing guy. He's got his sources that I could never even dream of having. But Steven, before we get into this video, I want to thank you for being here and letting everybody obviously know you can check him out in the description below. Click his app, and you can subscribe. Get him to 6K because you're growing very, very quickly. So thank you for being here again.
Thank you, Alex. What a nice intro. Very nice. Thank you so much, my friend. Glad to be here, man. Always a pleasure to talk Scream with you and horror with you. So this is going to be fun, man. Thanks so much. I
Of
appreciate it.
course, of course. Well, you kicked off my kind of like summer tour of Scream creators. So yeah, Master Chaos, and you're kind of the
Yeah.
pioneer of doing that in the first place. So I won't bore it. All right. There's a couple of things I obviously want to get to in this video. We got stuff on, Courtney Cox is there. We've seen multiple pictures, right? Hayden. There's been like the links of the Instagram where they've tagged her. Nobody's
Mhm.
spotted her yet. So she,
Yep.
and I do want to, well, maybe we'll just start right there. There is a bigger topic I want to get to. So let me ask you this, because people will always throw around how important these characters are going to be in the movie. So you hear people, even when Samara Weaving is brought up, and oh, could she be a ghost face? My response, I think yours, right, is I truly don't think so, because she's
Mhm.
probably going to be on the set for like 2.5, 3 weeks. She's not there yet. So
Right.
what do you think, based off of Hayden still not being there, Samara still not? What do you think their role size-wise in the movie would be? And does it disappoint you, right? Because I don't think Kirby honestly will be in the movie all that much. Probably like a Sydney level from 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, man. I think you're hitting it. I think Kirby is going to be more of a Gale Sydney role in 5. So I would not be surprised if we don't see Kirby for a while in
Yeah.
this movie. And then something happens that draws her in. Either she gets attacked, or maybe Gale reaches out, whatever.
Yeah.
There's going to be something that brings her in. I think you're right. I think she's there for about the same length as Gale and Sydney in 5. And Samara, she's the tricky one, because I think she could easily be the opening kill if they want to return to the iconic
Yeah.
celebrity opening cameo kill like they used to with Wes was doing it.
Yep.
Then who better than
Yeah.
Samara Weaving to bring in and
Right.
have. Now, having said that, man, I want her to be in the movie a lot longer, but I just don't see how. You've got Sam and Tara and
Yeah.
Gail, and then you've got Kirby, and now you've got Samara. How can you write enough? There's too much to me.
Yeah.
It's way just too
Well,
many people.
and that's the thing, and you and I think have talked about it on your streams, my videos, like, and people have put together the number. I think we're at 14 or 15
Yes,
now.
14, 14.
14, and I believe there was 12 or I counted 13. I saw somebody say 12. I swore there were 13 characters in 5,
There
if you
were.
count Vince.
Vince is the
So
13th.
you're
Yes.
already above, and we talked about that. I mean, this is kind of like a common theme for my videos. They're above that number already. I
Yes.
do think that probably is the limit. I don't like Neve. Does she count? Maybe. I mean, if she technically would count if she's in it for, but at the same time, like, you think of a cameo. The
Yeah.
tough thing, as we've been saying, like, these characters are not going to be given, and that's scary. Like, personally, that is a valid. I think valid. I mean, it's my own ego. It's a concern of mine that you're
Yeah.
gonna limit these characters and what they can do
Yeah.
again. And you
Yeah.
already did that for Sam and 5. Specifically, I would say Sam, maybe Chad, Mindy to an extent. So you probably are going to do it again. So so what do you think, I
Yeah.
guess, of that?
I mean, I think that's the danger, the risk I'm nervous about, because I was hoping we'd have 8 or 9
Yeah.
total, and we would more like Scream 1, where it
Yeah.
was a much smaller cast, but you really got to know and love them all,
Right.
And the only way I see this still being possible is if there's a lot of deaths. Like they're going to slaughter 6 to 8 of these people,
Yeah.
and and think about this: if Samara and Tony Revolori, let's just say,
Yeah.
are the opening kills. Let's just say they die in the first 15 minutes. Well, now we're down to 12 people.
Right.
Okay, that's
Yeah. That's more
better.
manageable.
It's better, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, people will start dropping as the movie goes. We're 11, then we're at 10. And hopefully, whoever is going to be there at the end will have a good story, like Gail,
Yeah.
Kirby, Tara, and Sam, especially. We really need to see more for their relationships and
Right.
their roles. And I think everyone else, all these new people, they're all victim fodder, man. They're just going to be there to get killed. And you figure this too. At least 2 of these people are the Ghostface killers.
Yep.
So they're going to be dead at the end, but they're also
Right.
doing the killing.
Right.
So, when you think about it, we could end up with 5 or 6 survivors
Yeah.
again
Right.
at the end of this movie.
Yeah, I
Possibly.
think you have to limit it to when you get towards that end. You can, and we've said it before, you can play around with eliminating a Sam or a Chad. You could take out a
Right.
couple of the core that you already have. Kirby, I don't think it's a good idea. Gail,
Mm-mm.
obviously, is a bad idea to do it. And then Sydney maybe comes in at the very, very end. Well, let me get your thoughts. Yeah, because we haven't talked really. I mean, a lot has happened with Neve just on and off. And to me, it's getting, and I'm not blaming her, but it is getting extremely annoying, in my opinion. Because we're now at this era where it's very clear whether or not it happens, we're going to be told it's not happening until that day.
Yes.
And it's like we
Right.
already went through this with Garfield. I don't buy it that Neve is not coming back. I think she is, but and we've talked about it before. I don't know about you. I've seen more and more and more comments as time has gone on, not on her side. So,
Mhm.
I've seen more people than in the beginning, talk about greed and stuff on her side.
Mhm.
I still stand by, and I want your updated thoughts. I still stand by it's a horrible decision not to announce it. I get it. You probably don't want to come across if you're Paramount that like you bowed down to Nev's like a
Exactly.
plea. I mean, like she got you on the world
Right.
stage, but like it's hurting everybody. I see a couple comments on every video saying they're not seeing it. I also
Yeah.
see that Nev's a bad person, Paramount's
Mhm.
bad. Like you see it. So I just think it's horrible. What do you think?
Believe me, if I was in that studio, if I was in these executives, if she's really back, I would say get a press release out today
Yeah.
and let everybody know it's happening, it's done. But to your point, at the same time, if these people don't, if they come out and just this quickly, like they caved in, quote,
Right.
then what is that going to tell other actors and
Yeah.
actresses? I don't know, man. That's kind of so they might be like, you know what? We're just going to take a hit on our reputation. We're
Yeah.
going to take a hit because what's going to happen is opening weekend, everyone's going to see Neve at the end. They're going to tell everybody. It's going to be all over the social media, and then all these people that hated us are going to come back
Right.
and week 2 and watch
Yep.
this. You know what I mean? That's what I
Yeah.
think's going on, man. I think they have. I want them to announce it, but I don't think they will. I think
Same.
they don't want to show that they gave in, and
Yeah.
so that's how I'm cashing out. I'm
Yeah.
hoping Nev's there, Alex. I'm
Well,
still
so
convinced in my mind. I'm saying she's not, but I
yeah.
hope she is.
So, and like the thing with me is, it started kind of slow in terms of the leaks and stuff. Like,
Hmm.
and you've made connections with people literally down there that have taken.
Yep.
That's literally like you were the lead for the first month, and that was really it. But if we've noticed, which I think people have, July has seemingly become a lot more wide open. Like it
Mhm.
all. They're either getting lazier or they're getting caught more or they, or maybe
Yeah.
they're fooling with people. I don't think a horror movie that doesn't have the biggest budget of all time can afford to like
Yeah.
purposely, you know what I mean?
I
Like
do.
that's my always argument where it's like, so they're going to create fake things
No.
consistently. They don't really have the time or the
No.
money to do that. But maybe I don't know. But so what do you think in terms of July has been wide open? We're
Yeah.
seeing them like acting. We saw the logo, like 99% likely. Do you
Right.
think Nev would get caught there in those days that she's rumored, the last week? I mean, because if she gets caught there, this is like a fun thing, by the way. I don't actually get mad at this. If she gets
Yeah.
caught there in like next weekend, I find that I would laugh out loud. That it's like it's cool. It's great that she's back. I also would kind of think the whole thing's pathetic because it's like you try to keep it secret and then you got caught in a picture anyway.
Exactly. That's the thing. And I can tell you that my friend Chris, who's literally going around town at
Yeah.
night looking for shooting space, and he sent me pictures of the high rise condo apartment building,
Yeah.
and that was found. They were getting ready to film. He saw the Blackmore sign that said set with an
Yep.
arrow, and they walked down there, and there's the catering sign where to go in and get your food if
Yeah.
you're in the crew. And there's like anyone can walk up. There's no security like
Yeah.
keeping you out. So here's the thing. There is no way in my mind unless they bring in Nev under a hood umbrella, get her
Yeah.
into a limo, and rush her to Mel's sound stages
Right.
where they've got sets built right now.
Yeah.
And and I do know Chris has told me about that. They got house sets built in there, like wraparound porch, probably Kirby's house. That's my guess
Yeah.
from 2011. And if they do that and they get her in, there is security at the Mel's. You can't get in there.
Yeah.
So if they get her in a limo, rush her inside and lock her in, then maybe no one gets the picture. But
Yeah.
if they shoot with Neve anywhere outside of that, and that's why I don't think they will. I think they'll have a
Yeah.
set built,
Yeah.
and that's where she'll go. And it's
Yeah.
straight there.
I've
And
thought that too, because the rumor, based off the guy who's gotten a couple things right that we've seen on Twitter, is that she's going to be working longer hours than normally they would work, and they sometimes don't even shoot on the weekends. Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's like if you shoot outside, you're going to get caught
yeah,
like
it's gonna
immediately.
happen.
So it needs to be, and if the end scene cameo thing is like at her house getting a phone call,
Hmm.
yet again, if the rumor is true and she's there for like 2-3 days and they're going to be working her, I'm not saying she's going to be filming for the full like 12, because that's not how it works. They literally go on for like 30 seconds and get off. But that's longer, I would assume, than a phone call, which actually, kind of gets me thinking where it's like, I don't know if
It
it would be
is.
just a phone call. Like our kind of grand idea would be like, you get a call and you can
Yeah.
maybe you hear the voice, maybe you don't, maybe you just see her reaction. That
Hmm.
I feel like it would be a longer scene based off of the rumors. So, but we'll see. But yeah, I think it has to be, whether it's inside her fictional house or she
Yeah.
goes to the college or whatever it happens to be, it has to be inside, because the whole
Yes.
thing, again, it's gonna look, to me, it's gonna look really pathetic that you let the whole
Oh.
Twitter thing happen, and then now you're playing pretend like with Garfield, and then somebody just spots her on set. It would be game over. You might
Yeah.
as well announce it after that, actually.
At that point, yeah, there's no reason not to. It'll be everywhere. We'll all know it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too that is about this. My friend who's going to be scoping things out, and he's trying to get confirmation that Nev is in it from someone who's working on the movie, and there's a connection there. So all I'll say, and that if it works out, he's going to try, and if she is actually in it, then he's trying to get the actual date her a plane
Yeah.
comes in,
Wow.
and he's going to be at the airport. He's going to literally be trying to get the shot and image to send me.
Yeah.
So it's possible, Alex, that if it happens, I might be the first person other
Look
than
at that.
Chris to have an image of her confirmed. And if
Yeah.
that's the case, I don't know,
And,
man. That's a
and that's
big
the
one.
thing with with like, I don't think there's any, honestly, much wrong with it. These people that and stuff, very respectful people. These people are not going to do anything crazy. It,
Yeah.
it's nuts, because like the Scream fandom is so passionate. And again, I just find, I don't know. I feel like you could maybe sneak this out in other franchises, but like, again, if you're going to go through this entire act, unless you're really careful, it's like, you will have people. It's that important to people, to quote Richie. It's that important to people that you will see her at the airport. And if you
Yeah.
see her at the airport the day before she was rumored to be filming that weekend, that's also game over. Even if
It
she's
is.
not, because it's like, well, why are you there? You know what I mean? So there becomes
True.
a point where it becomes like a stalker thing. I don't think anybody in our circle,
Right, right.
there's been
No,
others,
no.
but not in our circle,
That's right.
has reached it.
No.
But it's also something, again, I think they need to understand that people are like this, and that's why it would become laughable to me, because like, people are this. Scream like is trends. How many other movies trend when they're filming? Not many.
True.
I don't see. But
Yeah.
Scream trends when Jenna Ortega is spotted on set. Like, that's crazy.
It is, man. And I see that. And the other thing too with Nev, well, and it was with any of them, but she has to have a hotel. She's
Yeah.
going to be going to have a hotel to sleep at. She's going to be, I mean, it's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
Someone, it may be the guy in the lobby of the hotel that's like, puts his phone down real quick. It's going to happen. Uh, and I do agree with what you said earlier about how there have been more leaks on
As
this.
time has gone on.
Yeah, it's time, and it's more than we ever saw in 5. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a couple in 5 that we ruined Heather Matarazzi. We saw that, and
Yeah.
there's a couple others, but and the Skeet thing, remember, that was leaked out,
Yeah.
the picture, but nothing like what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
There's just stuff everywhere, and I'm being real careful on my channel to post. I post images of locations. I
Yeah.
don't post spoilers,
Right.
of what's happening.
Yeah.
And
Neither of
someone,
us are like, I'll
yeah,
post something leak or a rumor in a title, but we don't go into like,
no,
Gail's dying. That's the, and we
no,
put
no,
that in the
no,
title. Like that doesn't, we
no,
don't do that. But it is getting alarming. And I did say this. I mean, I don't want to become a prophet, but I did say this going into this filming that there's only two ways it can go. They can be much more secretive, or they'll get more lazy and they'll
yeah,
almost underestimate how people can find these things. And it's looking like that one, that they
yeah,
didn't really brace themselves because you're already, I don't know. I mean, we haven't gotten to the trailer yet. That ruined to
true,
some people 5. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot worse that can still happen, but we are already, it's not looking great. If you don't want the movie leaked, it's not looking great how they're treating it right now.
right. Well, and then Marissa Barrera's
Yeah,
fiance
husband
or
is just going
boyfriend or
around there
whatever,
taking pictures on set.
dude, taking the picture of the chair with the logo. Like this is what happened in Scream 5.
Yeah.
Remember? They
Yep.
took the picture of the chair. It's how we knew it was just going to be Scream.
Yep.
And so I'm like,
I
oh,
found
here
it
we
hilarious
go.
that it was her husband. It's like
I
like the
know,
family of your star is accidentally doing these things. It's
man.
there's a sense of care. I don't really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun. You know what I mean? But it's also like for a movie that prides itself of secrecy, but also kind of needs to be secret. Like these movies don't
yeah,
work if you know it
I
going in,
know.
and so it's more important for
It's
Scream
true.
than any other horror film I can think of to
Yeah,
be secretive. So I want to bring in the story that's been floating around today. Dermot Mulroney, or however you say his name. We've had conflicting things, but so I'll give it to Stephen first. So we saw the quote. He's been talking quite a bit, probably too much, and he'll
too
probably get a
much.
gag order. And he talked about a connection. There, without a doubt, now we know he is connected to
Hmm.
somebody, right? And he watched 4 and 5. That's a clue. Maybe it's not, but I
Yep.
feel like it is.
Hmm.
So we heard that people had said Judy. We heard from viewer Anon that it's more maybe obscure. People haven't figured it out yet, which means it can't be something obvious. So I know you haven't. You said to me earlier you didn't talk about this yet on your own. So what do you think? Do you think? Well, do you think he'd have like a bit? I feel like also inadvertently he's confirming he's in it a lot because I don't think you would go through the stuff he said if he's in it for 5. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's inadvertent. I don't even think that's on purpose. And then he is also getting very close to, spoiling family ties. So what do you think about all that stuff?
Yeah, man. He mentioned he ended his sentence with how it's about family ties. That
Yeah.
it's this family, and Scream's always been about family since day one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting. I'm like, why are you saying this, bro? Just I know you're excited, but you know, when he came out and said that, yeah, his daughter gets killed, and
Yes.
that's what brings him into the story. Now, my first thought wasn't actually historical deaths; it was current cast.
Oh, okay.
My That was now again. That was my very first thought
Yeah.
was, well, who is going to die that's in the cast now that maybe
Yeah.
that's who his daughter is.
Well, but the tough
However,
thing is I
yeah,
think he said victim, and victim doesn't have to, which is also catching people. It doesn't have to mean death. I think it
true.
does. I think
Me
it
too.
does, but technically I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. 'Cause I need to go
I
back and
just
say I
saw that.
haven't.
Yeah, I'm not correcting you. I just saw people telling that to me where it's like, it doesn't have to mean somebody died. And I was like, oh, shoot, that opens it up even further. But I do think not many people have survived that are still alive.
I
It's
mean,
probably somebody that has died or, like you said, will die in the film.
in the film, right? So if it's present cast, it could be any of these new young girls that
Yeah.
are in there. There's at least there's the Dakota, there's the Liana, and there's a third one who I'm blanking out on, but there's
Is it like Devin? Is that her name? Is that the, or is that the first one that you were saying?
that's the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Dakota. I'm butchering it, guys. Sorry, but I don't have it in front of me. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's three
Yeah.
younger girls in their 20s
It
that
could
are
even be
there.
Samara Weaving's dad. You
That I
know?
was going to say it could be Samara Weaving, because if Samara's the opening kill,
Right.
what if he's
Yeah.
he's a detective in New York?
Yep.
What if his precinct is covering her murder, like trying
Exactly.
to solve it,
Yeah.
and he gets involved in some way in that way?
Yep.
So that's possible. But if it's historical, then you're looking at Jill, you're looking at Olivia,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, you have the girl from the very beginning, Jenny.
Yeah,
I think it was
the two
Jenny,
that yeah.
the
Yeah.
very, very beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you think they would go that obscure though?
that's obscure. That's really a dude. Yeah. I doubt it. I
Yeah,
would
like
doubt it, but it's
it's
possible.
tough because again, like we were talking off screen, and some people had brought up to me. So like I said, Judy. Judy was just the first one. He mentions 4 and 5. He's playing
Yeah.
a detective. Maybe detective runs in the bloodline. You could also then bring in Wes because he'd be the grandfather, right? So like there's ways of doing
Yep.
it where you have some interesting family ties. But then it's like, well, if he's too young or Judy was too old, whichever way you look at it,
Yeah.
then and also again like the viewer anon thing. And for those that don't know, viewer anon is like the guy we've talked about him before on Twitter. He's the one who said Neve is back, like the final word on it. I trust him. I really do trust him. Now he deleted that post that he said nobody is so that's a little
Hmm.
alarming in a way. But he did say nobody's guessed it yet. So I think it can't be somebody as obvious as Judy. But
Yeah.
I like the idea of Judy, honestly. So then if you go away from that, I brought in Liv. That was my
Live.
first
Yep.
because and we've talked about this actually, you and me, where it's like you can still improve some of the characters in 5, like retroactive. Like you can still give Liv like a family thing where Liv
Hmm.
becomes almost more important. You could do it for Vince. Like there's a couple
Yep.
characters. Wes, I feel like now you've lost it, unless Judy does have some father figure, right? But for like a Liv, for a Vince, you can still continue them through. So I feel like Liv is the first one that stands out. Do people even remember who Liv is? Is that what maybe because she's so obscure? Like, would I be right with
Yeah.
that? I don't know. Or like you said, or is it you, or is everybody going to the past and no one's thinking, well, it could just be a quick death here that brings, like you said, with
Exactly.
anybody?
Any of them. Yeah. I think it's very easy. It could easily be that a current character
Yeah.
that dies. However, the fact that he watched Scream 4 is
Yeah, that one's weird.
significant. Right. That there's something there. Now, obviously, Kirby being in the movie, maybe there's some interaction with her. He needed to watch
Yeah.
4.
Right.
And of course, Gale's we know is there too, but Gale's. So anyway, it's interesting that he watched 4. There's something there.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's Kirby and Gale connection. But it could be more than that too.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, like Jill, it is possible. It would be very. I find it to be so odd that I don't know if I would like it. I probably, well,
Yeah.
seeing it in front of me, maybe I would. I don't know if I would like it right now, but that would be so obscure that it's like that would probably float under a lot of people's radar. It's like who's thinking of Jill's dad, So,
Right.
well, and then another question, I guess, tied to him again with my inadvertent comment. So, do you think it's a possibility he could be Ghostface? I don't think so, but I've seen people say it.
Well, I wasn't thinking about him being a Ghostface killer. However, he did make a comment, and it was an audio interview he did, and it was really short. And I could try to find it real quick, but to give you the actual source that it is. But I will tell you this: in this interview, he almost misspeaks, and he says something like, "Oh yeah," the interviewer says, "So you're now in Scream 6." He goes, "Yeah, very excited about it. I'm so excited. I'm the role I have."
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Wait a second. Did he just say I'm so excited I'm the
Yeah.
killer?"
Killer.
Is that what he almost just dropped out without thinking and stopped him real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Oh
I
man.
hope not,
Is that the
because
same interview where he said it's fun, funny, bloody? Is that same
that's the
one?
one. It's fun,
Yeah.
funny, bloody, and
And
awful.
that's another thing. Bloody. He brings up bloody. He brings in funny. These are comments that again I don't think to many people mean it means he's in the movie a lot. I just don't think you
Hmm.
can describe the film like that if you're not a main part of it.
Yeah,
Which does put him in the category that he could be Ghostface, right? Because it's got to be a character that's been in the whole movie.
gotta be.
Now that we're saying it,
I
okay,
know.
here's the thing. Let me just say this real fast. If you caught him in that interview with an almost saying it, and like that's the thing, I'd be so upset if that was spoiled like that.
Literally, me too. He might have literally spoiled who the killer is, or the mastermind of this
Yeah.
thing. And you're like, well, his daughter's killed, so there's his motive. I mean, what if his daughter was killed and there's some connection to avenging her death
Yeah.
in this movie? And then who's the accomplice? It could be any of these
Yeah.
other people. Take your pick.
Yeah.
But I hope that's not what he meant. It's interesting.
Yeah.
If you go back and listen to it, he kind of fumbles.
Oh man, I'll have to. Yeah, I saw the words when he said about the fun, funny, bloody. I didn't see that part. Well, I didn't watch
Yes.
it. Oh my
Gotta
god.
watch it because he's all excited. He's giddy.
And
It's like
I
Christmas
mean, it
morning.
would do something different if like a ghost, and because we talked about like ghost faces with alternate, or they don't have the same motives. I mean, right? Because if it, like his daughter is killed, maybe he's out to kill. Have we like that would be something kind of weird? Have you ever had a ghost face that wants to kill other ghost faces?
Right. No, that
So
would
there's
be
actually somebody specifically, and he's a detective role,
Yep.
looking for the ghost face to literally murder them because he also is weird, probably like where he has a
Mhm.
mental condition that he also dresses up like it, but he hates them. He hates ghost face.
Right.
I actually feel like that'd be very wacky, but I feel like that would kind of be different,
It,
and you know,
it would be a vigilante ghost face.
it would. Oh my
And
god.
here's one clue to look for if that happens: if he lets people live.
Yeah.
If he comes up to you and he doesn't attack you, he
Right.
runs off.
Yeah.
There's your clue that that's what's going on.
Right.
In my opinion, that's possible. Yeah, he could totally be a Charles Bronson Death Wish, but turn it into Ghostface and
Yeah.
just trying to kill him, which would be interesting because you'd have two different ghost faces with different motives
Yeah.
altogether.
Oh my. Well, thinking about it, it's like because we've talked about the idea of Sam, right? And
Hmm.
killing or not killing, and I think you and I literally said this on my channel. If she kills, you can't really redeem her.
Right.
Well, if he kills random people because he thinks they're Ghostface and they turn out to not be, he doesn't need to be redeemed because he could be killed off at the end because he's also go. I actually
Yes.
really like the idea of like whether it's 1-1 and he's out there and he's searching and maybe he thinks people are Ghostface, so he does, like you said, maybe he doesn't attack like Tara because he
Hmm.
knows, but maybe he kills maybe Chad, like really gives him bad vibes, and he murders Chad because he genuinely believes he's Ghostface.
Yes.
And then he has to eventually die at the end, but that's fine. I mean, man, I actually really like that idea because that's kind of like a rejected Sam idea that would work better for somebody like him.
You know what's cool, Alex? You could actually, just thinking about this now as we're talking, you could have it where he's working on the case
Yeah.
and they get evidence pointing to a certain
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And every time they think they've got the killer, they end up being killed by
Right.
Ghostface. And he
Oh,
shows
yeah.
up on the scene and it's
Yep.
too late. And then they find another suspect and they end up dead
Yep.
and
That would
he's
be
killing
actually
them.
so. And he can act upset and mad
Yeah.
because he is in two different ways. Yeah,
Hmm.
like he's upset the person's dead, and he's also upset he killed the person.
That's
Man,
right.
I'd actually love that. Wow.
That's
I don't
pretty
want to get
darn
too
cool.
excited because actually, if they don't do this, I think it's a wasted opportunity.
I know. That's
It's
the
a lot to
problem.
go off of just a couple of his comments, but I mean,
Yeah.
as we've seen, like these things can happen. These people can drop inadvertent. Like I think at the very very least, you can easily get from him that he's in the movie all the way, which
Yeah.
puts him as a candidate for Ghostface.
Yes.
He connects himself to to a female of the
Mhm.
past or present. I mean, he's doing a lot just on his own.
A lot. He's going to be at Mark Kincaid. He'll either be a massive red herring like
Yeah.
Kincaid was,
Yep.
or he'll be a killer.
Yeah.
One of the two. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make him look like a red herring though, because if this is a vigilante thing,
Right.
which I'm really vibing on this theory. I'm telling you, I gotta do a video on this because I like this idea. If that's the truth and that's what happens, they're not going to put any shade on him.
Yeah.
They're going to find someone else to be the red herring because they want us looking other places.
Yeah. And with
And
so many characters, you
you
got to
can.
be careful because well, but it's I think it's been pulled off before. Like Billy's mom, like she's not in the movie much at all.
No.
And so because you could argue, well, they need time. I think the reason why it hurt somebody like an Amber and Five is like nobody had time.
No.
And then, like literally nobody. And then she happened to also not have time, so that kind of hurt everything. It has been done before where ghost faces don't have to be in the movie. So, in fact, that was
Right.
kind of man. You know what? Tying it with two, that's the whole idea of two. Both of
Yeah.
them are
Mickey.
really inconspicuous throughout the entire
Mhm.
film.
Yeah. Mickey's like gone half the movie.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just not even there. You don't know where he went. And so,
yep. Man,
you
yeah.
could
Thinking about it like
easily,
that too, if they wanted to do
yeah.
like a two,
Right.
you'd have very little. It'd be almost a background character, somebody
Hmm.
you're not really focused on. You're putting it on other people. You have enough people to do that with too. I
Yep.
mean, you don't run out of other candidates because there's so many. Man, I like it. I'm glad we did this.
Me too. I'm vibing with it, bro. I'm
Is
telling
there
you.
anything else? I'll hand it over to you. We'll stop this in a few minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about, and any of the things that we've seen of Gail on set or anybody? Yeah, any
Um,
topics we didn't discuss?
no, I don't really think so. These are the big things that have been front and center for me.
Yeah,
Are these things, and I'm just excited to see that we're getting. Again, I guess it's kind of it's a double-edged sword,
yeah,
but the photos and things. It's
yeah,
nice to see. Again, hopefully, it's not going to be where the whole movie's leaked out by the end of the shooting.
yeah.
But no, man, that's the biggest thing is all about Nev to me. The 28th, 29th, and 30th is the
Oh yeah.
rumored dates. And again, I don't expect it, as I've always said. I don't think she's in it. However, I mean, I have to do that for my emotional well-being. I
Yeah,
can't
I
do
get
this
that.
roller coaster, dude. I can't do it.
Yeah,
And I flipped over when you and I started talking about it when Viewer Anon put that
yeah,
first tweet, and I'm like, okay, she's back, and I let myself live there for a week,
yeah.
and then Nev came out
And then she did the
and
stuff.
said, nope, not in it. Sorry,
They're not
guys.
like I said, like they're not making it easy. I don't buy her comments and when she went on that
Okay,
convention.
yeah,
Just real fast, I don't even know if I've said it to my own audience. Just simply because just the way she kind of tiptoes around it, it seems like
hmm
a far cry when she's just telling Master Chaos, person, and now she's almost like she doesn't want to talk about it.
yeah,
There's definitely a narrative you can make where it's like, well, maybe she feels so burned about it, or she's had enough of people asking her about it. I don't
right,
really buy that. That's her role. It's the most important thing she's done to a lot of people. You're
yep,
always going to get at. I don't like it when people ever say, you know what I mean? If you want people to stop asking about Sydney, that's like the main thing. That's why
right,
she's famous. So I don't think
sure,
she wants people to stop asking. But no, I get it. I mean, because when you hear that stuff, I mean, factually, you're now just going based off of a rumor. You're going based
right,
off a faceless icon
yes,
on Twitter. The
exactly,
issue is I trust that. I believe that
right,
stuff. But you never know. It
right,
leaks. And even Viewer Anon has said like it is possible. I guess it's possible she doesn't appear. He's been told the opposite. But so yeah, that like you said, that'll be, and we're almost done. I mean, another month they're finished.
that's it, man.
So
Now, I will say one thing that's interesting. I do have one add-on. So, this movie, I've been saying since we saw it, it's going to be at a theater. You
yeah.
know, I've said it's probably going to be an opening theater kill like two, but I've
Yeah.
changed my mind, Alex.
Oh, okay.
I've changed it. So I believe now, based on information I've received from my friend in Montreal, I believe the finale, the third act of six, is in the theater, not the
Oh.
opening, because this theater is an extremely popular venue for bands and entertainment. And he told me that that place is booked constantly throughout the summer, like
Oh, okay.
constantly. And what they've done is they have no gigs until September. Their calendar is completely blocked.
Yeah.
So that tells me, connecting dots here,
Yeah.
that Radio Silence has rented the auditorium for all of July and all of August.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to spend 3 weeks of shooting in that theater for the reveal, the
Right.
whole third act. So it's going to
Yeah.
copy Scream 2 in in terms of having the finale in a theater. Remember
Yeah.
but it's not going to be Troy. It's going to be Stab because this
Oh,
is
okay.
New York.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a Stab musical or a Stab play, and that's where it's all going to go down, bro. It's all going to go down. So I'm just mark my words. The third act will be in the theater.
I like it. Yeah.
Jot it down, man.
Yeah. I
I'm
see no
hedging my
reason to
bets.
disagree. They've really built the place up, like glamored it up.
Hmm
Yeah, I like the idea of a stab play. That would kind of be fun. I don't necessarily need a musical, but a play would be fine. No, yeah, I like
Very New
that idea.
York.
We'll see. The best way of knowing is like if things go silent again. Because there was an era, like a 2 week span, kind of in
Yes.
early July, where they weren't spotted, where they probably were all
Well,
inside.
they were in the sound
So
stages. That's right.
yeah,
They left all the
right.
locations. He said that they're all gone. They're all at Mel's
Yep.
filming.
Yeah.
And who knows what was being filmed in those scenes.
Right.
We know there's a house. Again, I mentioned earlier, there's a scale house built with a wraparound porch, which matches the description of Kirby's house in Scream 4. So there's, that could be happening.
A lot of the indoor stuff can literally just like we've really still only seen Sam, Tara, and Gale outside.
Yes.
Right? I don't like even the new cast, we've seen them like in
We haven't seen
Instagram stories,
them.
but we have not seen them
No.
there. You know what I mean?
No.
So it's possible any outdoorsy scene, we know exactly who's going to be in it. And then any scene that takes place where they're trying to recreate something that they can't just have you stand outside for, that's
Yep.
everybody else. Like
That's right.
Jasmine is there filming, but we haven't actually seen. You know what I mean? Like if you're not
Yeah.
paying attention like we are, you would think she's not there, but she
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and you have a
Yep.
lot of that from a lot of the
Mhm.
cast. I don't think Hayden is there though. I don't think Samara
No.
is there.
No, I don't
Like they
either.
will come, but that's not a reason why I just don't think they're going to be in the movie. All that Samara is just going to be fun. I really believe she's a quick kill.
I do
Like
too.
she's there for like 2-3 days.
Yep.
I think people are going to get a little too excited thinking that she's a ghost. I just don't think you can be a ghost face and be there for 2 weeks unless you are doing like a Debbie Salt kind of
Debbie
thing.
Salt. That's the only way you could do it. You have little
I
peppered
don't,
scenes.
yeah. But
But
then if
would
you
you
give it
do
to
that though?
Samara, it's like, isn't that so
Yeah.
obvious? So
Right.
obvious to do that.
That's what I think too, man. It's
Yeah.
too obvious. It's like you have to either have her as an opening kill, Ghostface, or she needs to be CC Cooper.
Yeah.
She needs to be the Sarah Michelle Gellar of 2, where she has maybe a quarter of the way in, 30% of the movie, and she dies a really amazing death scene. You know, that's possible as well.
Yeah.
You know, but otherwise, it's all kind of we're expecting it.
Yeah.
We're expecting an opening. We're expecting her to be a killer, but I just don't see. Again, it goes back to screen time, Alex. Unless you do Debbie Salt, where you just have her in a scene here or there, here and there sprinkled, and then the big third act. Problem with that is though, why waste her like that? Like if you're gonna, I mean, dang it, if you're gonna have her in there, either have her be in there like a lot,
and I
or
think
just kill her in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, and I think like we know how these people talk, like directors and stuff. How easy of a story is it when the movie is out to say, "Hey, this was a feel-good story for us because Samara was supposed to be Sam in 5, and so we couldn't fit her in, but because and they can say, because you always hear, oh, the schedules didn't work, but she had a couple days. We thought, what better than to give her like a celebrity kill." Like the headlines write themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's something I could easily imagine reading on any site from Matt or Tyler saying we couldn't work it out there. We saw an opportunity to get her in for a weekend, and why wouldn't we do it? Like it's such an easy thing to. It's just an easy story. I feel like that's why they're doing it. Honestly, it's another name. That's what I feel. Not to discredit her, because I'm sure it'll be great, but like that's probably why they're doing it.
Well, I mean, look what they did with Drew Barrymore. I mean, Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, I just think that that maybe they're going back to the old Craven opening iconic cameo celebrity kill. I'm fine with that. I would enjoy that. I just don't let it be in a movie theater. Please don't be in a theater. That's all I ask.
Yep. Same. So, well, we talked about a variety of topics. So let us know what you guys think in the comments. Obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed to Craven Something Scary. Steven's pushing for 6K. I mean, you'll get there in like a day or two. Don't worry. There's another Halloween video away. Make sure, obviously, you guys are subscribed here. And yeah, I mean, I've been having a blast doing these Scream collaborations. Steven is the one who kind of started the whole thing. So thank you again so much for being here.
Oh, this was great, Alex. Anytime you just say the word, I'm here, and I'm going to have you on the channel. We got to talk about that offline.
Yeah.
I want to get you on really, really soon. Maybe this week or next week we can figure out a time. But
for sure.
Love it, brother, as always.
For sure. So subscribe to both of us. Stay in the loop. And we only got a little less than a month there left until they're done filming. And so it's a different era after that then. So,
for real.
Boy.
I know.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.